Thank you. Thank you. Look at all of you. So I have a shorter than usual, and I have 10 slides. Oh, I like that one. Beautiful. So, okay, I know how to do this, I think.
Yeah, so that's the slide.
Okay,
and then
okay.
the other one's back.
Great. Thank you. So this is the cover of our program. We'll say a lot of thank yous later. This is a welcome. Every year that we have more and more speakers. This year, we jammed in the first thing with 5, not 4. Maybe next year it'll be 2 minutes, and I want to do the things there and get done and get started, because this is wonderful to me. I want you know, we always have it. I always at the end say, don't forget the sponsors, and by that time everyone's leaving. So here's the people that helped us, and many of them are here. This is a list of some of the ones that are here, and I thought we would do something that would make me happy, probably, which is, wouldn't it be nice if all the people from these places stood up so that you would see them, and then during the, not only would you thank them, but you would get to know them, because they're pretty terrific. So let's do that. Stand up if you came from one of those things, okay? Yay. It's great. Really. That's a first. Maybe we'll do that again at the 20th of these things. So then the next thing we want to do, I would like to show you a picture of Adam, we wrote about in the book. This, we've only done this twice. For those of you who remember, there was a moment where my sister-in-law, Dana, died, and it really pissed us off because we knew her well and loved her. And this was the same kind of moment. And in fact, Adam was signed up to come and be his usual wondrous person. And he was 49 years old. So what you're supposed to do is look around and say, is anybody here 49 or older? Yeah, you know, we are, me too. And so this is this annoying, awful thing that we have to help not happen. And you can read why we miss him, and I will let it go, but he was a terrific person. All right, I'm done with it. I got through that. So what are we doing here? You know, this has kind of been funny. Those of you who came to the first year might remember that in the first year it said the first annual symposium. That was funny. It really said that. And I knew we had enough money for 2, so we did it, and then we kept finding more money, and this year we found some more. And so we're going to keep doing this for a while, as long as you keep coming. And when you stop, we'll stop, or something. And I mean the second thing a lot. I mean, you know, this is kind of a social experiment. It's not a science meeting. I mean, it is a science meeting, and it's also not a science meeting. It's a meeting. And I don't yet know really what we're doing, although that's what we said 10 years ago. That was good, but it's evolving, I think. I put the thing at the bottom, not because it's what we're trying to do every year, but it's a quote I found as I was looking for a different quote, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And all of the speakers, it says speakers beware. So don't you love that some Russian guy from 150 years ago said of something like, if your brain is out to lunch, the chance that he said that is 0. I mean, probably no Russian ever said, if your brain is out to lunch, but I found it on the web in quotation marks. So your job, speakers, it says speakers beware, and I sent a note to all the speakers, by the way, about the variety of people in the audience, and you always have the right to raise your hand during one of their talks and just ask nicely. You can say, huh? And they will then fix what's missing, okay? Because that's their job, is to make it so we can all follow along. So every year we try to figure out, what are we really doing besides having a party? And I keep having this aspiration that we will do something. And because there's a lot, look, there's 500 of you in this room. We ought to be able to do something besides vote somebody out of office. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to say that. And the bottom is my favorite quote, is nothing is worse than aiming low and meeting your goals. I hate it. And so we're going to keep thinking, Meredith and me, and you guys can help. You can send us notes, tell us what you would do if you were us. It's not so much about speakers, that's the easy part. It's gotten easier and easier. And I thank all of you for coming, again, you speakers. And you may not know this, but this year about 10% of the people in this room were previous speakers, because we invite them to come back, and they do. I mean, it's not every speaker that comes back, but you new ones this year, you should come back next year. So we have to keep trying to figure out a real mission to have. Because we haven't made one yet. So if you have some ideas, send us a note, okay? Because we think we might do this for a while, and so we ought to keep changing from that mission to something that has a chance. There's the beginning of, I could say what I'm thinking. The world's view of personalized medicine is, of course, wonderful, and the chances that it will impact any of us in our lives is small, because nobody knows how to deliver personalized medicine. First, you have to figure out what it is. That's hard, because everybody has a different view. And then you have to actually figure out how to get it to the people who need it. And part of the problem, of course, is you have to help people understand things that they're not used to. So the notion of saying, well, people will read and know everything, that's a dumb idea. I mean, it's hard, and you can't just hope that people will take care of themselves. That's not personalized medicine. So we have to think about delivery, I think, more than we do. So I want to tell you about a book. They used to have a thing on our website, what's Larry reading? Sports Illustrated was on it for a while, on airplanes. So I just finished this thing because I heard these guys on the radio, on the NPR. And it's something I never thought of, and it's worth thinking about. I mean, it turns out other people who have thought about populations and evolution have thought about this hard. These guys didn't invent this. But there's a difference between the way biologists like me think about evolution and the reality we face now. So evolution is easy. In the Galapagos or in Iceland, if you have a boat with a man and a woman and it lands somewhere, that's the beginning of descent. That's good. If you're a believer in Adam and Eve, that's good. If you believe in whatever it was 7 million years ago, that's good. So now we're in a different place. We got all these people, and these guys have written a whole book that says that that's not going to happen anymore. And apparently that's an idea. That's a real idea. And I didn't know, I never thought about that, thinking that I was a Darwinian hotshot. But it's not true. This is a harder, different, this is about social evolution and those things, maybe even more than somebody being a little smarter and showing up as 40% of the population over time. There's a whole argument that may never happen again. So the book is worth reading. Sweeping cultural movement has replaced Darwinian selection. That's kind of what that book is about. And it says down below, false conclusions will be our problem. Yeah, so we're gonna have to think about that. So I'm gonna show you my favorite slide to end ever, because this conference this year has a title, which is mysterious, Causal Inferences, Facilitating Health Decisions in the Face of Uncertainty. That could be a title for anything. And I want to use that to remind you that it's easy, because we're pattern recognition beings, to confuse correlation with causation. Because we do that automatically. We always do it. We always know we shouldn't, and we always do it. Period. End of sentence. And here's my favorite slide ever. It's from Neboisha. And that's, blame him, he's here. But it's just a remarkable, and in fact, in the version that Neboisha shows, there's actually a text that rationalizes this causation. Since chocolate makes your brain have sugar or something like that. And so we have to be careful not to fall into that trap as we think about it, okay? So I'm very happy when I looked at what we're doing. There's a bunch of people here that are unbelievable scientists. I thank all of you who said you would come. And there's a whole bunch of people that are incredible social thinkers. And if you add up 14 and 7, you get to 21, but we only have 17, not 16 people. So some are doing more than one thing. And that's an anniversary party, 10th year. Thank you all for coming. And let's hope this is as good as it's been in the past. Thank you.